welcome, welcome. It feels good to be here. Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Edwards. Pronoun for him, his, and I'm representing the Normal Anomaly Initiative, but I have the honor of being able to host with the Mahogany Project today for We Got Pride. And I have two individuals on the call with me. Darian, you want to start?
Absolutely. I am Darian Dairo, also known as the Sophisticated One. I work as the event coordinator for the Mahogany Project. And that's all I'm going to share right now.
Yeah. What about you, Adonis? What you got?
What's up, everybody? Right, I'm representing. I got this from Damian Jacobs. I got a shout him out. He sent this to me. So what's up, y'all? Y'all know me. Adonis Darling. I am part of In Living Colors. Also, director of community engagement for the Mahogany Project, and I am a lot of things, and not enough for sometimes, but I am here.
That's it. So before we get started, do y'all have a drink on you? Everybody got a little. Everybody got a little cup. Okay. So I got my little cup. You say choose happy. Mine say savage as fuck. That's what we're going with. So
I'll say, hold on. Where did I put my?
Yes. Look. So while Adonis is getting ready, everyone who's out there watching us, what we're doing right now is we want to start off by let's bring the community together. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pick a word that we cannot use while on the call. If we do use the word, we have to drink. And it's about accountability. It's about community representation. It's about bringing it all together and just having good fun. So that's, a good little icebreaker. So every time, and I'll wait till Adonis comes back. Every time y'all hear this word, all right. Every time you hear this word, we have to drink. Okay. Now it's not just I say the word, I have to drink. We all got to drink. We're doing this together. Okay.
Right.
Alcohol. So some people not drinking. So some alcohol, none alcohol. Okay. So the word is size. Size. Like the size of the body, the size of the meat. You can't say size, okay? So as we go through this and start talking, it's going to be kind of hard not to talk about the size, okay? All right. So what size shirt is that you got on, Adonis?
This is a this is a size medium.
Okay. All right. So see, that's how we're going to roll with this, okay?
I'm with it.
All right, so I want to start off this conversation by something that's very important to me that I hear a lot, but let's talk about this. What does it mean to be a man to you? What does being a man mean? So for me, it's being who you are authentically. It's allowing yourself to navigate in spaces and understand who you are and identify as. I don't think it has anything to do with how you perceive or how you look. I think it has more to how you're doing inside, but I know that everybody may have a different opinion. So, Darian, what do you feel about that?
I think what it means to be a man means to, like, what are you willing to stand tall in? What are you willing to show up in this world as? And what are you willing to like fight for? Essentially, for me, I think that manhood is built around standing tall in who you are and what you are.
I like that. Adonis, what about you?
Basically, shit. It's just how you identify.
Okay. Just point blank simple. I feel it. So, what about masculinity? Like, when we say, does masculinity mean more of being a man to you? So do you have to be masculine to be a man?
No.
What do y'all feel? So I know that people talk about it. They say that, you're less than a man. You don't hold this type of job. You don't have this type of car. You don't have this type of look. So they judge who you are as a man based off of certain things that you have. So what about, Darian, I know that you play a little bit with your fashion, you play a little bit with things like that. So how do you feel about that?
I think that the world tries to define like what being a man is and how men show up. But I also see that I think that we are also noticing that the way that they want, the way this idea that people have of men isn't healthy. It actually is traumatizing to men. It's hurting men essentially, and how they show up and how they express themselves as it pertains to themselves, how they express themselves in relationships and such. And I think that people are noticing that it's actually unhealthy. And I think that we're in a era where we're redefining what being a man is, what being a man looks like, and how a man should and can show up in his world now. That one of my favorite examples of a man is my dad. I think my dad had me at 20, and the man who he was at 20 and the man who he is today is two different types of people. And he has evolved into what I think the real man is, an even better man. Every time I see him, he's a better man. And I think that's the cutest thing in the world.
I like that. Adonis, what about you? Because, people want to hear you speak.
I see. So as far as the question is, do I think that masculinity defines what a man is?
Yes.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
So my answer to that is no. Real simple, real short, to the point tonight. However, I do think there are some things that are traditionally associated with men that have to do with masculinity. However, I do not think that there's a checklist that you have to check off to qualify being what a quote unquote man is, because a lot of it shit is stemmed in toxic masculinity. However, damn, I don't want to, because
just say it.
Well, no, I want to be. Let me tell you something, baby. I do not. I have the luxury of not being politically correct, but I still come on this platform.
Cancel culture is real. Cancel culture is real.
Right. So we know what a femininity is, right? So we know. Y'all heard me?
Yeah.
We got you.
Okay. So we know what the feminist is. So I like to think of, because I don't want to sound like an incel and say I'm the same way when it comes to, because I know such thing as men. At least it's gonna be a word tonight. Men is, but I do think by being whatever that word is, that there's different ways of being quote unquote a man and being whatever masculine looks like or not. And I don't think just like feminists shame women who want to be traditional homemakers or want to be independent, then I think the same way with men. I just think as long as it's not toxic and fucking with somebody else, anybody who identifies as a man, it's cool. But I do think whatever male identifying individual is, they have the right to subscribe to how they want to identify, what they want to traditionally be masculine, as long as it ain't fucking with nobody.
Got you. Well, we got another person on the line. So, Brian, how you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good. You want to give a chance to give a time to introduce yourself to the people? I know we've seen you a few times, but let the people know who you are.
Hey, I'm Byron Bankhead. I am from Jackson, Tennessee. Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I work in public health, sexual education as an HIV counselor and tester. School for social work, and me.
Come on, let me find out. Do you happen to have a drink with you?
I do not in here. I put it in there because I did not know what
So when you get a moment, you can grab your little something. But what we're doing is we have a drink. It can be alcohol or non-alcohol. So what we're doing is anytime somebody says the word size, which I just did, so we're gonna drink, you then take a drink.
Okay.
So that's what we're gonna do.
Vern said, I'm trying to it's a pound time. Baby, listen, it's always time to talk about pounds. Always.
So, Myra, I want to ask you the question too, since you got jumped on. When we talk about masculinity, does that define how much of a man that you are? Not you specifically, but just in general. Masculinity defining what a man is.
No, not at all. I mean, not in every situation. I think with a lot of these topic conversations, there's such a wide range of what that could be because there are so many different levels of expression and layers to expression. But for me, those are not always in conjunction with each other because there are various different types of men and what they're looking for. But I consider what a man is subjective. It could mean something else to somebody else, and they're all valid, but every layer does not have the same level of masculinity. So I think for some people that aligns, and for some people it doesn't. But yeah.
Let's talk about that, because you brought up levels of masculinity. So let's talk about the level of femininity. So let's talk about what that looks like. Does that mean that you're less than a man if you're a little feminine, or more feminine? Like, I'm talking like, if you, let's not even put a label on it. Let's just say feminine. So femininity, defining what it means to be less than a man. Do you feel like that equates to it as well?
I would say no. Same thing. Even with, it's all subjective to me. So just because I feel like, because when you say less masculine, more masculine, that alone itself has variances depending on who you're talking to and their experiences and like their level of interaction with different levels of what masculinity, femininity looks like. So I think that in alone, I don't think either one. But because number one, man and woman alone are man-made constructs.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a real thing. You're born a man or a woman to complete that step once you become a certain level of whatever. So it depends on if you subscribe to that. Some people subscribe to that ideology and say, hey, this is what a man is, this is what a woman is. So for the past levels, for somebody else, they may not subscribe to it at all. So I don't think it necessarily has to do with the other either or, whether masculinity or.
I think it has a lot to do with people wanting to have boxes that they put us in, and then they get an understanding so they know how to navigate and move for their comfort, not necessarily our comfort or the individual that they're portraying that on. So I understand that you're a man, so I know how to move with you. I can ask you to pick up a box. I can ask you to cut my grass. If you identify as a female, I can get you to do my hair. I can get you to go shopping with me. So those types of concepts they put in on gender, as far as like maybe gender roles or gender expressions, and put that on, and I don't think that that's proper. So what about double standards? As we talk about that, it's around being accepted as a man to cut grass or to hold a certain type of occupation. Let's talk about double standards. I'll use example, cisgender female saw me with my lawnmower, and so she was like, oh, can you cut my grass? And I'm thinking like, what? I mean, I don't mind cutting grass. She said, yeah, because, I need me a man to cut my grass. And I was like, okay. How is that the case? Why do you need a man to cut your grass? Well, that's what a man is supposed to do. He's supposed to provide. He's supposed to cut grass. He's supposed to be able to build. He's supposed to be able to take care of the plumbing. So I asked her, I said, well, what are you going to do if you don't have a man to do those things? And she was like, well, I just find one or hire one. I said, you're going to have to learn how to do it yourself because you may not have that opportunity. So how do y'all feel about those double standards of somebody putting gender and responsibility on you? So let's see.
Yeah, I'm not with it. I'm not picking that up either. I'm not doing no service. I am not doing no service. I think that a few things. I think that what Adonis mentioned, if that's the way you want to live your life and it works for you, I think that you should go for it. If men want to live their life serving women in that way, I think that they should go for it. But I think that that life doesn't serve me. That life doesn't feel comfortable with me. Me showing up in that way don't make me feel okay. And so I'm not interested in doing services just because I'm a man. But I do believe in some like double standards. Like I wouldn't let my mama take out the garbage. Like, well, I got that. Like, you ain't got to take out no garbage. Like, it's certain things that I do that I wouldn't allow, that I wouldn't let my mom or my auntie do if I'm around. But my auntie and my mom are also women that are willing to do it all. Like, my mom will cut her own grass. My mom will take out her own trash and do whatever she needs to do. But it is things that when I'm in her presence that I want to make sure, like, I'll take that off of your hands. And so I think that a few things could still exist. I think that we can stand tall and being independent, stand tall and getting things done. We can stand tall and not putting expectations up on people, but we also can be gentlemen. Like I can do something out of kindness. I can be chivalrous. I can hold the door for you. Like those are all things that I'm able to offer you. I'm able to offer to this world, not because I'm a man though, just because that's what I want to offer to this world. That's what I want to offer to my mom and my auntie and the women in my life. But I'm not doing it because I'm a man.
I feel that. Brian, what about you? Is he still on, or is it we got a little technical? Oh, he just put the cute. I would say you just put the cute face on so the people can see you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so kind of Darian pretty much like said it. Like that's pretty much it. I think, you know, if that is something that someone chooses to subscribe to, and that's what fits you and your journey in this life, then be that. You know, and be whatever gentleman, be whatever lady you feel like you need to be. For me, that's not my prerogative. Like you said, for me, I show up in the way that I want to show up in the world. So the same way, if I'm gonna hold the door open for somebody, it's because I want to be polite and hold the door open. It's not because I'm a man and you're a woman, or I'm a man and you're a man and I'm the taller man and you the shorter man. So no, I just want to hold the door open. So I'm not a person that subscribes to that way of living. That just don't like that just does not
Hold on, you're breaking up a little bit. You know, technology don't want us to be great. You know, when conversation is good, technology don't want to let you be great. When the people are supposed to hear something, they don't want you to do it. Adonis, we were talking about like as far as double standards around somebody actually do something based on you being a man. We kind of brought up the idea of cutting grass, opening doors, things like that. So how do you feel about that?
All right. Well, this is my answer. Oh, I forgot. So Byron said where he was from, and I cannot now represent 713 Day. Just so him to be but so I say let's entertain the fact that so I am a quote unquote Southern gentleman. There is a lot of shit that may be probably somewhat problematic or traditional things I subscribe to. I do believe in being a gentleman, so I definitely will hold the door open for you. You may identify. I don't mind holding, and I definitely will hold the door open. Just being about stuff like that. Let me say this: whatever you subscribe to, you can. But I will tell you this: and I've already said this. There are certain things that, again, me being born and bred in the South, the deep South, I don't think no woman should be cutting no grass. Like if I had a daughter, stuff like that, she not cutting no grass. Mm-hmm. I'm not cutting either. I'm having somebody cut, pay for. But you know, some things I'm cool. Some things I do have to unsubscribe to. Some things I don't want to. I don't like to see like unless they enjoy it. Like when we cutting grass, so you know, taking out trash, doing all that extra, you know, the manual work. Or even somebody who's like non-binary identifying, or even someone who does identify as a male, they just don't choose to identify with those traits. But it is a double standard. Well, never mind.
The Mahogany Project said, is men in the South built different from men in Northern state? I am a Southern belle, but I am from the southern side of Chicago. And so with that being said, y'all see what I did? Okay. So I think that it just all depends it's really about your parents and how your parents raised you. I think that my great grandparents are from this Mississippi. So all our people from up north is from Mississippi. We got somebody from Mississippi, Alabama, a good old Tennessee or something. And it's just about how you were raised. And it's not Chirac. No. Jesus, that's a cursing word. We don't say that. It's just really about how you were raised.
Yeah, they're coming for you.
About how you was raised, and at the end of the day, what you would, I think that it's about how you was raised. Period. Y'all messed me up. Now I need a gun. No, I'm just playing. Right.
And I agree, Joe. Joe said he said he'll hold the door open when you see cuties. Let me tell you something, baby. I'm always gonna do this.
I'm gonna hold that down.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that because I've always thought about it. You know how people hold the door for somebody? Are you really holding the door for them to walk in? Or are you doing that so you can check them out? So that's what I be doing. I open the door and I'm like, oh, this looks good from the front. So okay, so it look good back there too. So do a little look.
Never thought about it like that.
I mean, well, I thought you was going based off the shirt, but I know that's a different type of context.
No. You know, two things at one time. However, what's gonna say? Now, I'm going to what Joel said as far as if somebody cute, like if you say something that look nice, of course you're gonna, do some. At least I would. However, most of the time I'm holding the door open for women, so I really don't be just like checking them out like that. I really, you know what I be waiting on?
What's that?
Say thank you.
Oh, that's rare.
Another thing, you say thank you, but another thing I noticed about holding the door open that bothered me is being a man and trying to hold a door for a woman. Sometimes I was holding doors for women whose sons won't hold the door for my mom. Like, I don't think that that kind of stuff is like unfair. And so I am not as I don't hold the door open for everybody. I am selective about the type of women that I open the door for. Because I don't think that this is an open playing field. I don't think that my mom and my grandmas get the same respect out in these streets as some of these older Black women in these streets. And so I make sure that I'm very careful about who I open the door for. And if I do just be right there and you right there and catch it, I do want to hear thank you.
Right.
I think it's very kind. Also, I'm always looking for an opportunity to shoot my shot. So if I need to walk out, if I need to like wait slow down to off the door until I know behind me, then all man doing it, check my phone, like they come up. No problem. I got you. You have a good one. You have a good one.
Hold on, bring that B back. So they check the phone. What you checking the phone for?
Yeah, I have to check your phone. Then you gotta wait till that comment.
Sounds like y'all in the same traffic location.
I'm checking that too. I'm checking that too because I gotta do what I gotta do. Because it's gonna be because if I see you, it depends on how hard I'm a flirt. Because I'm a flirt, I don't care because it can be a very much so. All right, you have a good day, or it can be all right, you have a good one.
Okay.
I may have to ask you how you feel. You all right? You having a good day? That's good to hear. You have a good one.
Yes.
It's the G for me, but I'm gonna let that go from the inside group.
Here y'all go.
So we talked about what women expect and do. I know a lot of times we talk about cisgender women and most times get like things like manicures, pedicures, things like that. So let's talk about grooming. When it comes down to grooming, how do you feel your grooming affects your identity? So for me personally, I do my own nails, I do my hands and my feet, and I take care of my hair. But then I have women all the time. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Men don't do that. I like a man with dirt on his fingers. I'm thinking, but why? I don't understand. So what about y'all? Oh, I see some faces. Come on, Brian. What you got?
It's the fact going dirty fingernails, but no, I don't know. I like I said, this is just for me. These are all I statements and situations for me. I just think grooming is grooming. Of course, I think people who subscribe to different ways of living feel as if certain things are made for certain genders, and in the words of Auntie Tabitha, that's their business. But for me, I think hygiene is a standard level for everyone. I don't believe, like when we say women tend to be more hygienic than men, that should not be a thing that exists. We should all be the same level of hygienic for our personal body needs and stuff like that. And with nails, I mean, I like how they look. Mm-hmm. The boys like how they look. So I'm going to keep my
Yes, Joel.
I don't think the other thing is just part of my hygiene, because I think like I think about all the time, like the only reason people associate like the things that, again, back to that being a gentleman, certain things just don't subscribe to me. If being rough and dirty means you a man, then I guess I'd be something else. I'm sorry that I just don't subscribe to that being a part of my maleness, manhood, or whatever. It's just a cleaning regimen we should all be doing to some extent.
Yeah, you have something?
Yeah, I'm with it. I think that my hygiene doesn't define how much of a man I am. Am I more or less than a man? I think that people just really need to find what works for them, what works for you, and what works for your partner. What works, even high groom, as far as like grooming yourself, as far as like hair as a man. Some men be like, none, bald, naked, no hair. That's the way I like it, or that's the way I like my body to be. And it's like, I got you. I respect that. But that don't mean that everyone has to be walking around here a bald chest, because that's the way that you prefer to be. What works for you from the lifestyle you live, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it don't work for you and it don't serve you, if it's not fun to you, don't. But cleanliness is something that we should teach everyone. Like, I do think that we teach women to be more clean, more hygienic and more clean than men. And I think that it's okay for men to be a little rough around the edges. And nah.
Clean the ass too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wash it off.
Let's say that. Like,
wash it off.
Let's do that. So some of y'all know me. So I like to shake shit up, shake the table a little bit. So I want to talk about fetishizing.
Oh wait, hold on. I didn't answer that. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, okay, so you got something. Go ahead.
I just thought about that. Again, so the gentleman I did things to subscribe to. I'm not the best person to ask about that, because let me tell you something. I believe you always step out. You need to always, as much as you can, step out, look like and smell like a high price gigolo. Period. Stop that.
High price
gigolo. Okay.
Haircut, nail, everything did. Like, you look like something when you lay down. You want to be FDA clean. Hospital.
FDA.
It's the gigolo for me. So you said FDA. I know you had talked about something earlier with the FDA. Adonis.
I was texting about that. We weren't talking about that on here.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
If you want to bring it up.
This is Jordan. You a hosting guy.
Okay. So we're gonna talk about fetish, and then we can kind of put that in, because some people desire that in the fetish. So we'll get on that. So when we talk about fetishizing, I want to say that, have any of you been fetishized as, like, somebody has come to you because of a certain type of thing that you identify, sound like, smell like, height, skin color, whatever. What has it been, if you don't mind sharing it? And also, how do you feel about that? I want to go first. Let's see. Oh, okay. We got some laughs, so you can start.
No, it's a key. No, I feel like I was only fetishized for a long time. Like, I feel like there were, of course, there's that tall, dark, and handsome thing, right? We always hear about. I'm very tall. For y'all that, of course, but a lot of y'all don't. Maybe most of y'all don't know me in real life, but I'm 6'4".
Okay.
6'5" with shoes on. I'm very tall. So, like, being tall, people have this like one thing people always say, which is so weird, like, oh, I would love to climb you and shit. And it's just like, oh, I'm a tree. Thank you. Oh my God, I'm a jungle gym set. Oh my God. So I don't know what to do with stuff like that. Like, that's weird. Then being dark skinned, hearing you being told you look exotic, or people asking you, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, East Jackson. I'm from out east. And they like, oh no, where are you from? And
like, what island are you from or something?
Oh, I'm from East Chester Street. And they don't know what you're talking about. So it's like weird, like being tall and dark. And then for a long time before I started really getting into being gay as a culture, I didn't know. I just knew men having sex with men. And so before I kind of really started finding myself and all of that, I was very, very masculine is what people would say. I was very boy, as they say. And so there came a lot of, oh, he a man this, and I want him to treat me like this. Everything from being the big spoon to how I walked and talked had to be way people expected a certain thing out of me. And outside of those realms and perimeters, I didn't feel valuable. So that's something I've always dealt with.
Dang, what you had?
I think that I can't really speak about being fetishized, but I could speak about a lot about being sexualized. I think that a lot of times that I am sexualized, and so that is something that I like. I be trying to keep my shirt on. I be trying to be Christian-like, and you still people be like, "You look like I'm over here praying, and I look like I got some good. What you wildin', G? Chill out." Like, and so I get sexualized a lot, and I think that my kindness and my charisma, I don't know, just the nigga that I am. Niggas be thinking that, I be trying to get with them or I be flirting. I be just trying to have a good time, and I'm trying to sexualize me. And it's just like, it's a lot of, not saying that I'm against it. Not saying that, not saying that they don't like, I would be falling into their traps. But it is sometimes stressful to be over sexualized. And when I just be kicking it and be like, oh, you think I'm trying to, so you at this point try, like, can we just be friends? Can we just have a good night without it being sexualized? And so a lot of times I could speak about that. And I think that it just makes it hard to I'm good at making boundaries. So if I can say friend and it's period, we're gonna be friends. Like I can make that early if I make that decision. But if we out kicking it and I just don't make that boundary early off, I think that sometimes the water can be very murky and we don't know what ends up happening. And so I just have to make clear boundaries about as to who how the relationship will go. And I think that is the way that it typically goes.
The comments are coming in. Adonis, you want to touch on it?
You want to do the comments first, or you want me?
Yeah. So, one comment they asked about us about anybody being single, and then we also talked about the happy hour. So I did hear some stuff about the happy hour. I did hear some things about the pants that I wore for the happy hour, and so. I heard about some things, but the single part, I don't mind sharing that I'm single. But I know some people in entanglements and in sheets, and some people falling on laps versus traps. So, I don't know. So if anybody else want to share their relationship status, y'all are welcome to. But then remember, we live, so people might come for you. And no comments.
I have an inbox that is open for discussion of further detail of situations that I may not be entangled in. Thank you.
Politically correct. I love it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think that as it pertains to dating, I am dating and still trying to figure out who I want to spend the rest of my life with.
Okay.
Period. However you would like.
Okay. Oh, well, Adonis got a man at home.
Yes.
Yeah, so even though y'all don't see me posting all this shit on Facebook, it's a reason. Because the whole just to get in it. But yes, that is off the market, almost 2 years. Happily off the market. Yeah. But what we talking? Oh, being fetishized before that. Yes. I'm gonna say this. This stuff come full circle. Because Jordan, I think we were talking about this. I don't think anybody, and this is an I statement how I feel. Now, excuse my dog. That I don't think anybody is as fetishized and sexualized as the black male. for whatever reason, what it may be, man, dingo, like big size, anything. So it's something. Hold up, shut up, goddamn.
Yes.
And so
since he's exactly, pick up your cups, please.
Yes. So yeah, being sexualized, yes, fetishized, yes. And then what pisses me off, and it's so different because for those who don't know, being a African, half Nigerian, half Black American, I didn't really realize like how big colorism was until like I want to say like 22. When someone said, "Oh, you cute to be dark" and stuff like that, I'm like, then I'm like, getting conversation that other people saying that. What I think is so lame to me. Hold on.
You good?
Hold on, y'all. No, we ain't good because
I mean,
I could also talk about being fetishized about being Black too. I think that the idea that I have a black cock and that you're going to have it is very unfair. I think that is ridiculous. I think that is outrageous and it's actually offensive that my black cock, I have a black cock, and that you have the audacity to talk about it, to touch it, to ask to see it is very offensive. And I don't even like to be asked anything about a black cock because I don't have a cock.
I don't.
the cock.
Speak on that 4-letter word. And I'm gonna let that
I
go.
don't think anyone who uses cock. If you use cock, it's not for me. I know what type of person you are.
Right.
I know what type of friend group you got, and I don't want to be a part of it. It sounds like something I'm not interested in.
Hi, it's a cockadoodle.
Because I don't have one of those.
So yeah, I think it's weak. I hate when someone says or have said like, "Oh yeah, oh chocolate. I love dark skin. I love chocolate." Like that shit is lame to me. Let me tell you, honestly, a lot of things. One of them is not self-conscious or insecure about like my curb appeal. Baddest motherfucker walking around, but my mom and dad affirm me every day, so I ain't never like you said that weekend shit. Don't win the draws. Don't make me pre-come like, oh, let me give it something. I want somebody to skin. This ain't nothing new. So that I get tired of hearing. And then when you talk about dark skin, it's always associated with food, chocolate, or this, that, and the other. And don't get me wrong, because I got my times I don't mind being criticized depending on their person. However, just off the rip, when you don't know anybody and you get two from me, I think that is so lame and it's so weak just to be like, oh, I like dark skinned men. And I can't speak for everybody because listen, I am not a spokesperson for darker skinned men. And then depending on who you ask, they say I'm not even a part of it, I'm barely a part of it. However, I will say this. That don't give you no extra play when I was single because you like dark skinned men. Like, hey, good for you. So I think y'all need to stop doing this shit. Whoever doing this shit, because this shit is weak to me.
I don't know if that's gonna go anywhere because that goes all the way back to the beginning of our culture as people about being separated by our skin tone. But I think it's also where I've had that. I've been fetishized about my hair texture is curlier, so when it's wet, it's loose. People have heard.
What? I didn't hear you when it's wet. When it's wet, is what?
It's loose.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing loose up here, sis. But we're gonna talk about it. But people have heard other things from other people. You know, I ain't ashamed to talk about it. But people have heard things from here and there. And I've been to the club and like passed by somebody and they just want to grab my dick. And I'm like, hey, how are you? I don't even know you. Can you know what's up? Like, how does that go? And they know me based off of possible word of mouth, or they assume things that they know about me, but they don't. But it's like, I haven't had you and so many other people haven't had you, so I want to know what that's like. So it's a conquest. So it's that idea of I need to give you so I can say I had you, but I really don't give a fuck about you. I just want to fuck you, for lack of better words. I'm sorry, Vernon, and the Mahogany Project for using offensive words, but please understand this is my vocabulary. So before but I do want to say that, do y'all feel that when you are fetishized against and somebody's coming against you, that you are as a conquest, or they actually want to get to know you?
Yeah.
I feel like it can be both. I feel like it's more so a conquest, but I also feel like sometimes the social worker and the people person that has capacity some days understands that some people truly just don't have the correct means to express what they mean to say in a way that is not offensive. because I have to acknowledge that we live in a big world, and a lot of people, as much as I can say, hey, that's not a compliment, there are 1,000 other people that'll say, oh, for real, babe? So I can understand why people take that as a compliment, because if you say, oh, you cute to be a dark-skinned boy, I would be like, some people would be like, what the fuck you say? And then somebody will be like, yeah, I get it from my mama. So I could, like I said, I think, I've had to learn how to gauge people and their intentions, but which was, I was gonna say earlier, the hard thing for me about that is it kind of puts you in that weird middle ground when it's like, oh, I know that's a compliment and I want to receive it in positivity, but I also feel like I have to be an activist, because the things that people say in those fetishization moments could be offensive to people that are similar to me but different. Like, so I'm cute to be dark, but what about the dark-skinned person that has acne? He's just as beautiful, just because he has, like, so I feel like when I have to always step in and be like, hey, even though you're not talking about me, that applies to people like me, and then you feel like you have to kind of step in.
Your friend playing.
Your friend.
Yeah. No.
It's okay. It's okay, friend.
No, because like I said, it be that weird ground, because sometimes you be like, oh yeah, you like that? Like, okay. And then you have to have the moments like, nah, that's not for the right reason. So then you have to, okay.
I think it's a gray area. It's not black and white, it's gray. It's shades of gray.
True.
I do think that. But when it comes down to when people come to you and say those things about you being black, and so, oh, you're a black guy, so you must have a big dick. And I'm using that word because I don't like the other one. So using that construct is like, and then you get to the room and it's like, oh, okay, this is what it is. I thought it was more. I thought it was less. So whatever it is, then it's like, okay, but you talk about this, the size of me, but what about the walls? What about those things? Let's talk about that. So I think that's kind of where we have to get into more context of things that we discuss. And earlier, Adonis and I had a brief discussion around what the FDA was talking about with like poppers. And so, Adonis, you kind of wanted to speak on it a little bit?
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I see facial reactions. And if anybody want to share how they feel in the comments about the FDA saying what they're saying about poppers, please share. Yes, that took me off. It didn't take me off guard, because I've heard so much conversations regarding poppers or VCR head cleaners or nail polish remover, whatever you want to call it. It's interesting to me because I know that so many of our demographic utilizes that doing sexual exchanges, entanglements, and things that another. However, I wanted to know how everybody else felt about it. I don't think it's going to stop the sales or anything. But I will say this. I want to know, in addition to the high death numbers and percentage of people dying associated with poppers, what other substance were they also using? So, yeah, I want to know how y'all, have any of y'all ever used poppers and, all of that?
So I have inhaled it twice. Didn't like it because it made my head hurt, which made me realize that what it's doing. Say again?
Which brand was it?
I don't remember right now. Rush. But I know there's two different types, and so but then in the aspect of using it, it's not for me.
Wait, virus. Get your ass off the
So it's not for me. It makes your head hurt. It makes your blood pressure drop, and that's how people end up dying from it, because you can actually lose circulation enough in your mind to where you can start turning blue, because the lack of oxygen can make you overdose. So it doesn't have to. It can be another substance in that, but you can't overdose from it.
Okay. Well, go ahead, there.
I'm scared of drugs, so I haven't tried it. I'm weak.
Hold on, big baby. Hold on. Because I feel like this, like my good cousin feel about me using the word dope. What you mean drugs? Because this is something about off the count.
I'm scared of anything that alters my body other than alcohol, because I feel like we all have been conditioned to believe that alcohol is just fine. And I think that alcohol has become very sociable, but also with alcohol, with sex, with things like proppers, weed, and a lot of other things, we have become, we enjoy a lot of things, but I think that a lot of times that it flirts with the lines of addiction. And I think that we do a terrible job in this country as it pertains to addictions as well. And so that's why I'm scared of like trying new things. I haven't tried proppers, but I have had people leave them. And so I do have them at my place just in case someone do want to enjoy them when they come over. But that thought that people are dying behind them is scary to me.
Yeah.
It's scary to me. And so I am glad y'all brought it up. So maybe I can learn a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not a thing for me. I'm trying to wait because I want to say this I don't want to yuck a yum because I'm not yucking anybody's yum.
Yeah.
If that's what people, I hate to give these general answers every time, so I'm trying to be real politically correct. If everyone wants to do that, that's their business. But for me, no, I have no problem with people getting into their vices. We all have them one way or another. That's your business. But for me, when I just heard, I said, "Well, what is poppers?" And somebody said, "Oh, it's it's like VCR cleaner or something like that." And I said, "Well, wait, no, we're not just gonna speed over it. What do you mean? It's just some old
VCR cleaner, right?"
Yeah, that's what it is.
And so to me, that was already a turn off. For me. My first experience, I actually thought somebody was doing another drug. So after that, I just had a whole thing about bad experiences with it. It's just not for me.
Joel, I know the Mahogany Project, there was a question that Joel had posted. I'm going to see if they can pull it back up for me. It was around fetishizing, yes. How do you feel when somebody says something that is fetishizing you, and while may not be find offensive, someone else finds it highly offensive? Voice of groping, okay.
That's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, I've been in situations when, like, for example, when someone makes a comment about me being tall, for me, that's not necessarily offensive because it's just like when you 6'4", you taller than every damn body. So you just get used to being bigger than people. It's just every day somebody asks me about my height. But then I actually met another tall person who was very irritated with that because they were just like, people feel as if I tell them I do anything other than play basketball, that I'm just like wasting time. Or they always say stuff like, well, what are you doing? Why are you that tall? If I was that tall, I would do this, and that. And I never thought about it like that. I just pay people like, no, I don't play ball. I don't like doing it. Like, whatever. It's nothing to me. But every time now I think about someone saying something about my height or me playing basketball, I kind of do this thing where I go out of my way to fuck with them and be like, whoa, do you play basketball? And I'll say something like, no, I'm actually a cheerleader. Just to see what their expression is, because I need you to get out of the mindset.
Yep.
That everybody that's 6, because even if I would, and what people don't realize, if 6'5", I would be a short NBA player. It ain't like I would be a tall NBA player at 6'4", 6'5". Like, I be trying to do that little small, mini little activism, for people that I know, like, y'all, we gotta break
ministry.
Yeah, we gotta break this stereotype amongst us tall folks. So I have to do that for them, even though it doesn't necessarily offend me per se.
And even on the caveat of that, like being somebody short, that number one, let me clear up this myth. And this, I'm going by our statement and my conversation I've had with other people who are quote unquote short. First of all, I don't even realize I'm short until somebody bring it up. I don't walk around every day like, oh, I'm so short. Y'all who know me or know of me or by proxy, my personality is already that. There's no Napoleon syndrome. Like, I am who I am. I don't even feel it. I don't feel intimidated by that. However, you do have individuals who think, hey, because you're short, that you either strict bottom, or that's another thing they be fit. Oh, you short, you short, thick, this, that, and the other. Again, that's weak. Again, like, somebody might like this. I don't want to hear this shit. I don't give a damn. Yes, I'm short. It ain't stop nothing. Like it hasn't stopped nothing from 6'9" on down. So here's the thing. I want people just to be more mindful. Just know your audience, feel the vibe. You know, some people may I don't. Because a lot of people think because they assume that you're shorter that A, that you're overcompensating for something, and B that for whatever reasons of how society is, you should be heard, or that you're actually louder because you want to be heard. And that's not the like I'm me because I'm me, how I was raised, things of that nature. But yeah, that's one of the fetishisms that I do not like. And they don't over here.
Yeah.
As far as fetishizing and people commenting on it, I think I'm really defensive when it comes to my friends, and I like to like I got a tall friends, and people are like, oh, you're so tall, and then we're all like, we have a general concern. It's like, oh my god, and you're so short, and like we'll just all look at them, or people like telling my friends like, oh my god, you getting so thick, and it's like you don't know how they feel about their body. You don't get to tell somebody that they're getting thick. Yeah. Like that may be cute and fun for you, but that's not the way you speak to somebody else. And so now I got to get defensive for my friend, and my best friend like, no, dear, it's okay. Like they used to it, but you're not going to be talking to somebody I'm with like that. I think you have to be more aware of who we talking to in the audience, because I think it can be inappropriate. As it pertains to me, I think that people do talk. People talk the same game, and you know. It's nice. I appreciate it. Thanks, beautiful. I extend a lot of grace to the fetishism that comes my way, because I know that some people may need the words that they're saying, but I have been getting, my aunties have told me since I was about 2, you fine. Oh, thanks, auntie. Fine man, and I'm a fine man, and I get it, but I've been getting that since I was 3. And so anything like equivalent to that, appreciate it. But that's not going to get you nothing or nowhere. And I think you asked about earlier, do we think like, do they like really want us, or do they like, can they have us? And I think that a lot of times they want to have us, and it's not really about like wanting to get to know us.
Right. People want to have
to us.
Say that again, Byron.
I would say people want to have you in the ways in which they have you. Mm-hmm. And they exclude the other parts of you that exist around the parts of you that they want.
It's true.
I know Crystal had put something in the chat earlier when she was talking about in 2017 that talking about the HIV, the number of people around the age of 45 to 54 will more likely go to the doctor. So when we talk about the doctor and going to the actual doctor, I know that sometimes I see individuals, and I'm going I statements, I see individuals feeling like they're indestructible and they have no reason to go to the doctor. It's more of a reactive than proactive standpoint on healthcare. I wait until I have something going on to then go to the doctor. After I check Google, ask my cousin what they had going on. And then I'm not going to the doctor because I ain't got no money. I can't pay for no doctor. But so I think those nuances are what keep that population out of the doctor. But what do y'all feel about our age group? I'll use our generation not going to the actual doctor.
I think it's a combination of things. As we know, that culturally, we have a lot of differences as far as ethnicity, race, hell, even region. However, one thing I can say that intersects all of that of people who are male identified is that, like you said, we are more reactive when it comes to going to the doctor. What I've seen with our female counterparts, female identifying counterparts, is like they're going to the doctor frequently, especially like starting in teenage years for like, you know, there were a woman's checkup, gynecologist things, so they're already more so programmed into that. Us more so really wasn't like it really hasn't been like that. And we definitely know with black men or even POCs or even just men across the board, the numbers are there that we don't. The difference I think is one thing is youth. Youth is a thing that people feel as though, and I think you said that as well, Jordan, in some of the words, that we have a false sense of immortality. Mm-hmm. So we think like, hey, I don't need to go to the doctor unless I need to go to the doctor. Preventative care is still something new, especially when it's geared towards men. And we're talking about PrEP or even even your test, still like somewhat relatively new compared to so many years. So I think what makes us hesitant is we weren't growing up, and I'm using our statements, and even other people I've heard, we weren't really going to the doctor as men unless, or even as boys, unless we really had to, or we was being forced to. So it's definitely a tradition, and you have to unlearn that, and then you understand the reasons why it's important to get in preventive care or just be more proactive in your care versus reactive, then you should do better. However, I just think that we have a false sense of immortality. It's the culture of men, unfortunately, that we don't access healthcare unless it's emergency situations. That's my statement.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that our introduction to doctors is definitely physicals. It get your shots, and then it's trauma. Like you got to get stitches. You broke a bone. That's the only time we get introduced to like doctors I got introduced to like doctors growing up. And so, or like I had asthma. So when my asthma flare up, I knew I had to go in then and stuff like that. And so I think that I think that it's a lot of barriers, just like as far as everyday living that we have to take care of. And so we want to make sure like we have a home to stay in and like we live in. But then I think next we need to make sure that we are also healthy in our body as well. And I think that it takes like a cultural shift. And I think we have to figure out how could we make that just as important.
Speaking of that, Crystal is talking about Black men and cisgender and transgender nonconforming in general. So when we talk about it, let's look at that lens.
I would even with like how we hear medical mistrust all the time, right? And I think a lot of people go back to that generational cultural aspect of mistrust with, our grandparents and what was done to them and our great grandparents and so forth and so forth. But I think there's more so amongst that younger crowd, a different kind of mistrust that is developed. And it is not necessarily racial or cultural as much as it is even financial. Like Darian kind of said, there are so many barriers that are put in place and so many disparities that are not addressed in healthcare because it does not help run the business of healthcare. And so a lot of aspects in healthcare that are needed is not that people don't see the importance of it sometimes, I just think businesses in healthcare don't do as well with, like I said, that communication to people and what's important. Because like you said, if let's say for me, if I go to the doctor, right, and I need to get this, and done, my experience has been I went to the doctor, they said it wasn't really nothing wrong with me. It was just a common cold. They gave me this medicine. It didn't really work. And of course, even with the pills, like when I broke my collarbone a couple years ago, they didn't give me a lot of pain medicine because there was like an opioid crisis going on in Tennessee and stuff. So they were really like scarce about my pain pills. And even though knowing it was going to be a long process, they told me to start taking Tylenol. So it was kind of like, well, I went to the doctor and they got me keep going to physical therapy every week. And I'm accumulating this huge bill for y'all to basically, when I run out of medicines, tell me to ice pack it up and take Tylenol. Well, I don't need to keep going to the doctor for y'all to tell me to take over-the-counter medicine. So then why do I need to go to the doctor for them to not believe me when I tell them I'm in pain? If they're not going to believe me when I say this is too expensive for me to afford, if they're not going to care if I'm undocumented or not, and they may not assist me in the same way, so many barriers that just get in the way to where even when people want to care about their health, especially young people with all this knowledge and resources, there are still different layers of mistrust being built outside of cultural.
All right. Bernice actually brought up a question in this on the screen. It said, what are our thoughts? Somebody has something?
Yes, hold on. Before we get off there, because we definitely do need to answer that question.
Yes.
I'm going to, even though the devil don't, advocate, my whole thing is living in reality and not in Neverland. And with all of that, I'm going to also say this. We, as millennials or even Gen Z, because if we're talking about 45 and plus, I guess it's still talking. So as far as millennials and Gen Z, there's an accountability factor, okay? I definitely think, Crystal, as far as asking me, as far as being a demographic. I think it can be a better marketing can be better. However, the accountability, I'm going to say this, and some people may not agree, but I'm going to tell you what the reality is, especially working in this field for so long. A lot of people just don't feel it. A lot of people are lazy and they want to hand it to them. We're going to be honest about the situation. Now we're in a day and age that we're always on our smartphones. We don't always use them smartly until we want to. The resources are there. If the resources aren't there, then that's a whole different conversation. And there's so many things because we're not perfect. Having in Houston, we're a lot above the curve than a lot of people. However, here's the thing. Individuals have to realize it is your responsibility for your sexual health. It is your responsibility for your health. If you do not can put towards that effort, or at least reach out to someone who does to assist you, it's going to end up falling back on you. So I want people, whoever hears this, is if you need something, say something. If you're seeing this, you're connected by proxy to one person who is connected to somebody or an entity that can help you. So I understand there's so many things going on in systemic racism, classism, elitism, like all of those things. However, outside of that, you still have access to a smartphone, use it smartly, get in contact with someone. Don't just hit my inbox, and I'm not calling nobody out, but I get this done all demographics. Don't sit up my inbox asking me, oh, where? I give you the information. Oh, then you ask me the same thing that's really on their website. But you want me to do the work for you. You want me to be your daddy and do everything for you when, again, this is for you. And I don't mind helping anybody. However, y'all, we have to do a better job of understanding. We have to get really serious and more proactive about our health because at the end of the day, it's us.
Before we move on to the next question, I know Crystal asked another portion of what we were talking about. And do we feel that Black men, cis and trans, are more likely to go to the doctor if they have a partner? I would say yes. And the reason why I would say yes is when you have an individual who's like pushing you, just like Adana said, and a daddy figure, telling you to go to the doctor or navigating their service for you, you're more likely to do it. I do think also that we have a space where people don't want to know anything is wrong. They want to go to the doctor and then tell them that something is right. So if my female is good or if my baby mama good, she ain't got nothing, I'm good. Yeah. I don't have to get tested. Or every time I have sex with her, she good, but they don't understand the nuances behind getting sick, health checks, and understanding who you are as an individual versus when it comes down to sexual transmitted diseases or it comes down to anything you can contract that way. It's more layers to it. So what do y'all feel about needing a partner to make you go to the doctor?
I wouldn't say it was necessarily about a partner. Do I think it's about a partner, a woman, a man, or whoever? Not. I mean, I don't think it's about the romantic aspect of it as much of it as just having a support. People just tend to put more emphasis and more on romantic relationships as if they mean more. But I think those same people would be encouraged to go if more of their friends encouraged them and kept them accountable. If it wasn't just people like us that work in the field who are like calling your phone, who are complete strangers to you, like, hey, this is really important. If your good Judy's and sister cats was calling you saying the same thing, I think it would encourage you the same way a partner would. So I think it's just all goes back to having that support system in that community in general.
I think that with a partner as well, I think that it can put you in a better financial situation as it pertains to housing, as it pertains to healthcare, and you can be able to get have easier access to the different things as far as like dentists and stuff, and being able to go like use healthcare and stuff like that. And so I think that sometimes a partner can help in that way as well. And I think that, yeah.
I definitely think partner is a plus. It's definitely not a must, but it also depends with anything, the type of partner you do have. Because I've worked in case management and had a caseload with two individuals had a diagnosis, and neither one of them wanted to show up. So that's why it's definitely important. Discernment is important. Intention is important. I will say this. When I first got on a prep trial before it was able to approve back in like December November 2010. The reason why I knew about it, and this is still I was working in the field at the time, I was dating a doctor, and he knew of it in Houston. And in that study at UT, I was probably like maybe like 3 of us in Houston, Black men. So definitely partners do help. I definitely think the type of partner that you do have is important, because if they're not someone who feels as though it's a need or even knowledgeable about it, I don't think it's really hard for them to inform you of that. I will say this, Crystal, just some personal experience as well as friends who identify as trans men. I think a lot of trans men are a lot better going to the doctor proactively than a lot of cisgender men. As far as like obtaining testosterone, things at that level, most of the ones I've met are responsible with that, as far as going to their doctor visits and checking their levels and things of that nature, as well as getting the other tests and labs that are associated with that. So I do think they definitely they definitely have a different outlook and experience as far as accessing those services than a lot of cis men do.
We have been talking about masculinity all this time, and I think that we haven't done justice enough to talk about femininity and talk about how that's still relevant to the identities that we hold as well, because there are levels to each one of those things. So Bernice asked the question, and we'll get it back pulled up, around dating somebody who is femme identified. And so what are your thoughts around femme men gender roles in which you date a femme male?
Well, before we do, and I'll be last. Also, I need everybody also to answer that in the comments, because we'll get to that double standard as far as people be so peaceful about how they identify and not subscribing to certain traditional norms. However, they won't date anybody who don't subscribe to those norms. But
come on.
Would I date a female? Yes. I always tell my friends, a man ain't for me if he ain't got a female. So, but no, I don't like to say it like, oh, I date femme men, because I feel like in a way that's something about that feels weird to me. Like saying that, like, oh, because they're still much more of a person outside of their feminine aspects. So I don't like to say, oh, I date femme people, or I don't date this kind of person. I like people who like me and who are good for me. And the person being masculine or feminine does not deter me from me vibing and feeling what I feel with that person.
Darian?
I stand with that. I think that it's I don't. I think it's all about energy. I think it's all about how if you got it, you got it, and if you don't, you don't. It's less about femininity and masculinity for me. I don't discriminate, and I'm scared to read the comment. I don't know why. Joel, wow. Yeah. And so I just think that I wouldn't I'm open to date anyone. I don't discriminate. Ain't a person out there I can take down, ain't a person out there that I'm not interested in based on like a certain type. I don't have a type. I'm open to the idea.
But you said, never mind. You know what, y'all? I'm all look, because we're gonna do a Pound Town version of this. Because I want him. Remember, Darius said anybody will take down. So bam.
Okay.
Yeah. If you coming with the right energy, if you knocking at the door, it's what's up.
Oh, what's your name?
It's what's up.
Yeah.
I've dated femme men before. It don't matter to me for whatever reason. I always check quote unquote mask presenting men or semi-mask presenting men. It don't matter to me. I tell you, sir, but Southern gentleman, I do have some traditional things. Some things I wouldn't want you to do, and then vice versa. It's some things that I definitely have my moments, because I'm not into something, but I'm not I ain't cutting nobody grass. I will pay the head for them. I'm not doing it. But yeah, take my trash and shit like that. I'll do that.
I'll be 100% honest. I had to grow into that, because for a while I was dealing with my own internalized homophobia. And about being not necessarily clock, because somebody asked me a question. I'm sure it's gonna be offensive. I'm sure
you say clock. What for those who don't know?
Okay. So when it's not clocking specific. I'm gonna get to that though. But when clocking is someone identifying you for possibly your sexuality or your identity without you having to say it. And so I want to use this. Somebody said size. Okay, I'll sip. But I want to say this because I want to be transparent, and I also want to be honest because I am a person who works in the community. But I feel that understanding that we are human, y'all can cancel me, that's fine. But I will say this: so I did have to deal with some internalized homophobia. Right, the comments end. Family-wise, navigating work-wise, those types of things were like I was trying to figure out how I was moving. And at that point in time in my life, I felt that individuals who identified possibly as femme were more open, accepting of themselves. So who am I to date you if I'm not completely accepting of myself, and also navigating spaces with you? So that's what I had to work towards. Now I don't have that same type of energy. It's really that I connect with you on a certain type of level. I identify as sexually fluid. So during time I'm taking people down, I'm used to picking people up and sitting them on places. So that's a whole nother space. But that's how I navigate my space now. So it took some work, and I think that we have to give people grace, and they have to give themselves grace to understand that if you're not at that space to where you like, I'm into this certain type of individual, or I'm open to all things, that's okay. Give yourself grace to understand you're understanding yourself. You may not like everything.
And the biggest thing for me is it's okay to like whatever you like. However, it is not okay to always have to express what you don't like.
Yes, thank you.
Some things you can just shut up and wouldn't nobody know if you know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing. Because I seen somebody also mention like the no film era. It's just like, yeah, there's a thin line between preference and just like you said, acknowledging what you like and stuff. But the line, I think, is not as thin when it just comes to how you choose to express your preferences.
I agree.
And it's okay to like what you like, but we don't have to drag what we don't like. Like, it's no reason to be mean about it. It's no reason to even say what you don't like. If you focus on what you like, attract it'll come to you.
Right.
But y'all, some people will be really focused on being mean for no reason. And then I think that's when it becomes weird. That's when it becomes fat phobia. That's when it becomes transphobic and
problematic.
When you start trying to put an explanation why you don't like X, Y, and Z. You don't need an explanation as to why you like or don't like something. But when you get to talking about it in these weird ways, it's something there that I think you need to heal from.
Mm-hmm. Brandon, don't cancel me yet. Just put me on pause.
I agree. I co-sign, notarize everything y'all said. Yeah, whatever you like is what you like. You don't need to put down what you don't like. Like, oh, I like those skin men. I don't like skin men because XYZ. I like tall dudes. I don't like short XYZ. Whatever you like. If you feel the urge to say that, number one, do not do it on social media. And I'm only telling y'all this for y'all mental health because, yeah.
Let them reveal themselves.
Yeah, because y'all gonna be dealing with all for that. However, what I can say is this: if you feel the need and desire to do that, before you do that, question yourself and say why. Mm-hmm. No, but I know this. Before I answer the more of these questions, let me see Vernus, not Crystal, because I don't find a Crystal. Answer Joy. Anybody else?
You got a brain.
Y'all need to answer the same thing that y'all ask us. So if I do date somebody who identifies this film, let me see who else needs comments, because that's how they'll get y'all. By my first time rodeo, and you as well, Joe. You as well. I'll get all y'all answers.
I think something by the name of Anthony is there too, because they'll get you to tell all your business. Right.
Because if we gonna play right.
Or be sitting there agreeing with you and leave you high and dry in the comments. Don't affirm you. Don't.
Mm-hmm. That's why I put mine out there. That's why I said this is what it is. This is who I was. Because I know there's people out there who still identify with it. I know Joelle said something I like butch queens. I mean, I don't know if you like more butch than queen, but whichever.
But that's what it's so interesting.
We can talk about this membership.
The membership. Wait, hold on. Wait, what?
You got to know what it is.
Indoor heated super circle. Wait,
jacuzzi water park.
Indoor.
Indoor.
That sounds like a Pound Town conversation.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So this Bernie said it's not Pound Town. So we did all of y'all gonna be on Pound Town soon.
Don't put me on there because you had me in soft top. Don't do it.
I'm ready to talk about it. I'm like involved, giving him something that he can feed to let him know it's real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I'm sorry, these questions. I love y'all in the comments.
Yes. Come on, Anthony. I'll draw aspects of the spectrum.
Okay. So a lot of because Vernis ain't said nothing yet.
Didn't. And Vernis, I thought Vernis had a lot to say today, but
Sister Cat got kind of quiet when the
baby, I can't folk. I always got a lot to say until it's time to say it.
Oh, well, what y'all not gonna do is get me kicked off the Mahogany Projects. Houston. Y'all can choose violence and fight amongst yourselves.
No, you're right.
But I do want to say I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Okay, well I'll let
Bernie step into the party.
Bernie said, "How film we talk?"
You tell us. You tell us
what's the breaking point and when it differs for you. Sis. Tell us.
Another question: do y'all have a size requirement in the comments to anybody you date, whatever size there may be? Whatever size there may be. Whatever area, do you have a size requirement? Okay, so Bernie said not like Bobby Light or EJ. Okay.
I feel like Bernie is slowly but surely growing problematic with this comment. I don't know where this is going.
That's why
that's not
everybody. Because they're like, oh, that girls are problematic, cancel them. But then when you turn the table to them,
Bernice is hacked. That is not Bernice, y'all. I don't know who that is, honestly.
Listen. The best I dated a fat, overweight, white, old head. I clearly don't care. Okay. I'm with you, Joey. I done more than a few good men. So I done been all across the world. Now, some demographics I will not date again. However, like I've dated a lot of them. Or had entanglements.
That's for Pound Town. I'm not gonna even go there. Never mind.
We're gonna do this Pound Town.
Comment, because when you said something, it made me think about something. Because I wasn't too concerned about the femininity when other things happen. So we'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean like when they invite you to their church?
I mean, it was a good old meet and greet, good old session. We'll go there. So
like the Bible side, bring us the men so we might.
I do want to be respectful of the people that's in the comments, and I want to be respectful of everyone. Okay.
Oh, everybody in these comments right now?
Yeah.
Because baby, they knows about it.
I know that's right.
We got a Pound Town answer.
Yes.
We have a Pound Town answer.
Oh.
We want to affirm that.
Come on, Anthony. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right. And, they call that daily dick. You don't want that weekend only. You want the daily when you can take the average size. You can take a couple of times during the week. That's boyfriend.
Is that
for those who didn't know?
It's my guy daily. Oh God, y'all girls, I'm grown.
So if Vernon is so vocal in the comments, Vernon, what's a good size?
Did you see? I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm fucking dead.
Ain't nothing
Adam for Adam
over here.
I mean, hey.
No C's. Ew.
No C's.
No C's. Ew.
Easy. Oh, no. Pound Town question.
Jesus. Very A for A.
With my red Facebook, y'all. Vernon, stop saying that to people. That's what I call it the red Facebook. Yeah, it's the other version of it's different.
You know what? Let me ask this question.
Okay.
Crystal, if you still there, Now, Crystal's happily married with babies, beautiful baby. Now, Crystal, if you're not with your husband, how film would be okay with you dating a heterosexual man, or even how would you feel? Oh, that's a whole nother conversation. Like, would you like cisgender women?
Right. Oh shit, Crystal, exactly.
Bisexual men. Because that's interesting.
How about this? How about we ask this, Crystal? How comfortable are you with the spectrum of the identity of your man? How about that? Since you want to pull that in, so we won't pull too much out because then people are gonna be trying to Google her man and figure out can they get a piece.
Good look.
You know how the girls do. You know how the girls do.
Crystal, I'm from Chicago. We shoot. If you need me, I love you. Just let me know what you need.
Oh God, not shoot.
In the words of Crystal, not on my watch.
I just want to say, bye. I don't know. I just feel like it was appropriate for the moment.
I mean,
okay. Okay. Watch. Someone asked a question.
Hey, hold on, the window.
Furnace. Oh no.
Furnace said, "I love a nice niner." Is that what you put? Niner? Like, is 9 the minimum size that you require, Vern?
Oh my God.
The kids trying to get you tips.
Is 9 the minimum?
I feel that it is.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to answer a question earlier. I think somebody asked, does size matter? And I think that throat size matters.
What size?
The throat size.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on? No. Yeah, no, it can though. It can, because for me personally, these are I statements. I don't know what the rest of the people is getting into, but I have a requirement where the girls like, I feel like everybody like, I don't want nothing this and smaller. Well, I don't want something. I won't even want to be in the same room as something this or bigger. So I feel like I can't. It's only so much a guy can do, and I just can't. I don't have the heart for it.
I mean, some people like their walls reconstructed. It's just not the thing for everybody.
And then somebody probably got good snapback too. So
I mean,
somebody got good snapback. Let me see what the Mahogany Project said.
Oh,
I mean, how about how funny?
I be roaring.
Okay, child, I ain't going out. Well, it's just hot water like Epsom salt bath or whatnot.
Well, we want to talk about a sexual health type of like spectrum of the anatomy of the body. The anal cavity has more capacity to take more than the vaginal cavity. I'm just going to say that. We can talk about that. We can examine that, but it has the potential to take more. Now, whether it should, whether you can, it's two different things.
Okay.
Talking about capacity.
Well, we're talking about fetish. Fetish. Do y'all run into fetishes as far as like cut and uncut? Because I know I do, and I have.
I have heard of some fetishes around that. I'm doing my best not to make this Pound Town because I feel like that's what I'm doing, and I'm never gonna be the host for the Mahogany Project again. But I have heard fetishes around that, and I think that there are people who like certain things. They may like that fetish for a certain type of reason, whether it be for feeling sensitivity or for visual attraction when it comes into those things. Because I have somebody who have talked about what they do with certain parts of those things, and it's definitely fetishized.
This mean like put it in their mouth? I mean,
no, what from experience, Anthony? What are we talking about?
Oh wait, hold on. Whoa. Wait, hold on. Let's say, is that what y'all fist pump done for? Yeah, that is Pound Town. I'm trying again. The more sizes that we have,
Okay.
I've never experienced, but I have heard of things that are which was weird to me because I was one of them weird people that didn't know that people's people's phalluses, people's penises. I didn't know that they all look differently.
Mm-hmm.
I figured in my mind that everybody's, other than tone and color, kind of pretty much look the same.
Hello,
I didn't know.
What you mean? You know they look different?
I didn't. I figured.
Age 18? Or you talking about how old you are now?
No, I figured that everybody's looked similar to mine. I feel like they were all shaped in the same direction. I didn't know that there was so much variety until I was in high school.
High school. Okay. So you part of high school. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got in high school and I seen or started hearing about people who were that were uncircumcised and stuff, I started hearing that of course the stigmas and bad negative connotations around it, but I started hearing the stigma of people who are uncut are supposed to be bigger or supposed to be thicker, stuff like that. So I thought that was weird, and I'm like, so then people feel like every time somebody got an uncut thing that is big or bigger, super bigger than everybody else is. Like, I thought that was interesting, but.
So I know that we kind of went around and talk about fetishizing and stuff, but being out of respect for people's time, people's, pearls and all this good thing, we're going to bring it in. And if the people want to continue to talk, they can get to Pound Town when that comes out. So I do want to say this, though. Thank y'all so much for being open and being candid about who you are as individuals. Joel, you said you had a question.
Yeah, we are respectfully. Yeah, I'm so
Right.
Sorry.
You good. What's the question, Joel?
Because listen, I'm here. Y'all got me until it's 8:30. Y'all at the max 9 o'clock.
No, we're gonna be leaving soon because we respect other people's time that's watching on live.
Oh yeah. Let's tune in. The people that tune in and still watching, they got all the questions, but ain't sharing. Wait, no! Oh my God, the window!
What happened?
Vernon, what Vernon say? Okay, so y'all see everybody.
I don't see it yet. I'm waiting to see what's gonna pop up.
Vernon said,
okay,
9 and above inbox.
Hey, well, they decided to put that out there, so please do. Please hit up the DMs and let people know how you feeling.
Yeah, 9 and above inbox Vernon. Inbox you to do what?
Oh, okay.
Is this some Mahogany Project related? Some personal? Do what?
Joel, I know you're speaking of that. That reminds me of what happened. Say again.
Vernon is from the dead end. So somebody said, Vernon, since you're from the dead end, does the dead end mean that it stops, or does it keep going?
So we're gonna let the people DM Vernon to talk about the renovations. But I'm gonna talk about what Joel posted. Can you put that question back up for us, please? Okay, how you feel about? I cannot. How do you feel about the attacks on Black trans women that the Black queer men have been produced lately? So I want to say that I feel like recently we talked about, and I don't really want to name call anybody. But the things that happen in LA Pride.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! Listen, hold on, big baby.
Okay.
As somebody feel like the Black Project, if we're gonna play right, and we're only because we can pull up the receipts.
Yeah, true.
Pride, and we talking about Brandon Anthony.
Yes, we are.
Getting them out. Let's talk about it.
Okay. I don't. So when it comes down to cancel culture around Brandon identifying as a queer male, I don't feel that all of us feel the same way. So I feel like canceling us as a whole is not the direction that things should go in. Allow him to have representation, allow him to understand his faults and what he do is where it goes from there. If that makes sense for y'all. I don't feel that I'm looped into this because I'm a queer man and I identify with him. I don't agree with the tactics and shenanigans that happen during LA Pride. That's my personal I statements. Anybody else?
Can I get a background on what? I don't know what happened.
Oh, baby.
If it's hot, we can talk about it later.
Okay. Well, I'll comment on it, and then, yeah, we definitely come back. So no, I don't agree with what Brandon said. Also, because I'm gonna be real about it, dead in his 30s, so I ain't got time to be shaking like certain color. Ain't nobody, like Joe said, we ain't scared of him. So let's be real. We know that desirability in politics plays a big part across all ethnicities, classes. If you look a certain way and you present a certain way and you giving the people what they want when they need it and what they wanted, then you are able to slide with a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, every time, first time, and you can go back on their timeline, Twitter timeline, Instagram, that said individual has reacted this way to black trans women. However, this is the first time that it's been documented and caught.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say this, and this is even you just either can say amen or say ouch. Cis black. Let me tell you something. Cis. I'm gonna tell you in places that where I navigate, which is majority black. That's okay. So everything I'm talking about is black, whatever. So majority of the black cis queer men and the spaces I've navigated, are the biggest perpetuators of transphobia. Okay. And with that, understand what that looks like. It doesn't look like only what's presented in front of you on social media, but it's also behind the scenes, the shit that's being said. Okay. Or even utilizing for tokenism. So how I feel about that is that we gotta do a better job of detecting the vibe of our tribe as queer cis black men. And I'm telling anybody who's either non-binary or either female identifying in our community, also understand that y'all have to do more research than a smile and quote unquote good intentions. Because a lot of these individuals will utilize y'all, the relationship with y'all proximity with y'all as a platform. Okay, if we're gonna play right. So and they be the biggest transphobes. Because I don't have to like speak about transphobia with a lot of cis black hetero identifying men or even other demographics of cis men as much as I do with black queer men. It's nothing new. It's real, and we have to do a better job of holding them accountable when we not when we see that they do it, but when we feel that they may do it. A conversation needs to be started.
Darren, real quick, to give you a brief like overview.
I think I picked up what y'all putting down.
It was two trans women basically attacked during LA Pride. Maya Scott was one of them, and somebody was choked out during this LA Pride, and it was a whole situation where the club promoter, Brandon Anthony, who curated this, did not. I'll let you read the comments on that, but I will say this: there was a lot of discussion around representation and also how he handled reaching out and also talking about one of the other individuals and how more airtime over here, more music play over here, and this person music wasn't played, but they was offered to come in. So it was a lot of different nuances around that. Mm-hmm. But the trans-identifying individuals were attacked by Black queer individuals during LA Pride. Right. So that's where it comes in, and let's talk about how that looks, how it's acceptable for people to be like, well, we stand with him, but scratch all that. Let's talk about the violence. Is it okay to be violent towards an individual? No. Not, you know what I'm saying? So those types of constructs. So, and they're canceling Black queer men. They're talking about pulling funding against LA Pride and pulling funding away from Prides and reaching out to individuals. Pull it. But I mean, you're pulling it from this individual. Mm-hmm. But if I am a Black queer man and I want to go to Pride and I don't agree with Brandon Anthony, then I should not be chastised for the fact that. Go ahead.
Right. But for me, the reason why I agree with him when I say take it is because I believe that's how you pull people to the front lines of them holding other people like them accountable. Because like you said, you may not be the individual attacking people. You may not be the one putting your hands on trans women. But if you not saying nothing to the people that are, you are just as part of the problem. So I feel like, yeah, you more pressed about your pride being taken away as opposed to the violation of a trans woman's rights is the biggest issue for me. Not you specifically, but
yeah, of course.
People that are upset about that in general. I say that to me, if I was in that city and I heard, oh, we're not gonna have pride or so much money gonna be put away from pride because of so and so and so, my thing would then to be, so how do we need to stop this from happening again? I would more so address the issue, not the
consequence
in response to the issue, because that would mean for me that I don't care about the issue. I care more about the consequence. And for me, if trans women are getting first of all, and this, I don't want to say this as if it's just applying to trans women, but I know we're specifically talking about trans women. If anybody is having an injustice done to them by somebody that I identify with, I personally automatically feel like it's to some extent my place to hold that person accountable and say, hey, bro, you tripping, like, or have that talk with him, cancel him, write letters to him and his businesses. But to me, because I feel like if we don't do that, it'll just be, oh, another trans woman that was assaulted, oh, another one that was killed, because it's always being pushed off and they're always expected to just defend themselves while everybody else is like, oh, but it's not us. Well, right, we'll help attack the people who it is, or help justify it with the people who it is. And so that's my stance on how to handle that.
I agree.
And you can't have pride without respect of trans women and femme women anyway, because that just, I mean, like it just they're fucked up. Oh, I'm sorry not to cuss, but F the parties and the presentation and what I'm feeling, the roots of the whole event is being in shambles if trans women are being disrespected, especially in those spaces. It's an insult to injury. So
yes. Darren, you had something?
Yes, I agree. I think that Marsha P. Johnson threw that brick because, things need to change and things needed to be done. And I think that we still have to fight for change and the things that need to be done. I think that a lot of times within this community, we have to check our privilege.
Say it.
Yeah.
We to understand that who we are and the spaces that we have been able to create for this community does not serve the whole community. And so we have to understand that, yes, check your people, and yes, and call your people out as well.
Yeah.
Be able to say that was some bullshit, and I think that we need to do some change. And I think that take that money,
That's it. Listen, again, they're in his thirds. They're not playing no more. I'm sorry, working on nonprofit, baby. I ain't got to worry about nobody seeing this and not getting in trouble. First of all, take their money to understand it's not a game. People understand a lot of things. They may or may not. They understand their money.
Yeah.
Because, baby, anybody born I can tell you on American soil, baby, got to pay bills in Texas of their demographic. So let me say this, and even though, quote unquote, allegedly, so we don't have to worry about no ramifications. I understand what went down. First of all, the mistreatment of Chica as a black woman. Now, she doesn't identify as trans, and she also is half Nigerian. Shout out to the Africans.
It's these plugs for me.
She mistreated. He didn't say the business. A lot of people allow him to make it because of desirability politics, and I don't mind because listen, I can pull the meat from the bones. Branding is fine. It's cat hair. However, a lot of people do not check individuals because they look a certain way. You pull a funding. Yes, all cis queer black men don't have to be punished of it. However, silence, in my opinion, is complacent.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it. I didn't know about it. Well, you know about it now, you didn't say it. So let me tell you this. What is not a shortage of in LA is black queer men. You take that funding from him, remove him, and put another black queer man that you have vetted. And when I say vetted, not that to show up to the events and shucking and jiving. Oh, I'm here for the community. Vet him. Ask your friend to speak to your other friend. I'm talking to my trans identifying community to make sure this individual isn't problematic before you put him on their board to throw parties. He needs to be removed. Now, understand we all make mistakes. Yeah, all this fine and dandy, baby. Again, if we have some more phones, let's use them smartly. Because allegedly, when he was on that phone call with Chica, baby, he used the right pronouns, and we didn't address the fact of the fat phobia that he was saying as well while talking about that too. Right? Mm-hmm. So there's so many different things. Here's my thing: with great power comes great responsibility. Like, period. They said in Spider-Man, it's a real thing. Whether you know better or not, baby, when you have a platform, you have to do better. If you do not know, oops, all berries. You have to hold them accountable. Take their money, and I promise you, baby, you take that money, and it's gonna get right. Yeah. It needs to be removed.
That's why I hate that saying people make mistakes, because people do make mistakes, don't get me wrong, but let's be clear. I more so think people make choices and then they turn into mistakes when people figure out it was the wrong choice. Sometimes it's that. It's also, I feel like that's one of those things with him. He didn't make a mistake. He made terrible choices and then it got out because the trans identifying individual was not the one who initially spoke up about it. It was the cis woman who brought it to attention of the people because she wanted it to be known it's not just this person, and people were starting to talk bad about the trans identifying individual because they had felt like there was a lack of professionalism on her end of the bargain.
Absolutely.
And so she had to go to Twitter to defend her fucking. I'm keep cussing. I'm so sorry,
Mahogany. Be cursed.
To defend her fucking self against people who are attacking her because she was attacked. So that's why I believe in making an example out of him, because I like you said, making an example out of those people, it spreads a bigger message. A trans woman who was already dealing with the trauma of being attacked shouldn't have to then go on Twitter to defend herself and explain her trauma for you to have sympathy for why she didn't have the capacity to fulfill her obligation, without us automatically giving her the benefit of the doubt like everybody else, like, oh, something else must have happened. It was very much so toward that individual.
Right.
Why she ain't show up, people pay their money to see her, so she's already getting attacked on top of the trauma she's already endured. Making an example out of them people is a way that we hold him 100% accountable, and there's no way around it. In that way, those individuals don't also have to play their own savior in their own trauma.
And they should, because if it's pride, because we want to have pride if it wasn't for a black trans woman, okay?
And that's the responsibility of it, and we have to understand that. We have to understand the responsibility that we have as individuals as we navigate through these spaces, not just pride as in life, the rest of the 364 days out the year. We have to understand that we navigate those spaces. But honestly, speaking of responsibility, I'm going to take the responsibility. Yes, Darren, you guys have?
I was going to say also, when we have, to bring it back to the question really quick, when we have lives at stake as well, we can't just allow people's mistakes to just be mistakes and look over them. We have to be able to correct this mistake and call it out and call a thing of things. Lives at stake, people are being harmed. That's an issue. Let's fix it.
Yes.
Right. But what you don't check out, and again, this speaks with the brand. Because let's be clear, there was an apology issue until Kalani said something. So Kalani had a bigger following, and the fat phobia wasn't an issue with Kalani. So once you saw Kalani shared the message, oh, I'm sorry, what was I doing? But Byron said earlier, you made choices, not a choice. You made choices with an S, okay?
Which made some mistake.
Right now, Brandon. Now you may be a little bit older than me, but Brandon is 35 years old. I can tell you this. I can tell you this, and he's a quote unquote businessman. Now, what kind of businessman? But he's a businessman. This ain't the first time at a rodeo. So no one tells you, because I can tell y'all a lot of things that I want to pick up on my phone, on social media, and post, I do not. So here's the thing: when you put it out there, baby, it's all your responsibility. And I made mistakes. Yeah, we made mistakes. And here's the thing: one thing I can say, as a millennial, I do understand cancel culture, but I do understand this. Regardless of the situation, your actions have consequences. You can apologize for them, but that does not relieve you from what that snowball effect is going to be. So here's the thing, because I promise you, you don't ever have to pick up your phone and post anything. You see what I'm saying? So if you sit there was calling that lady fat back and disrespecting her, and then you want to expose, because if we're going to play right. And then allegedly when you were saying that Amaya was doing cocaine, and then you tried to fight her, you posted that. Ain't nobody posted for you. You posted it. You see what I'm saying? So it has to be accountability. If we do not hold people accountable and all across the board, we're not talking about what's right. We're talking about reality. We're not holding accountable to or then you are allowing them to continue to make. Hey, the story, and I'm sorry, why you saying the story does not always rectify the rectification of what comes.
So
Take weigh him out. Is he canceled? I can't say canceled. He can definitely be suspended because I want to give certain people the opportunity to evolve and right their wrongs. However, as of now, the consequences should be LA Pride. If you get a win, it'll be well, Joel from LA. Send this to your people up there. He needs to be removed. Okay? That needs to, and he don't need to be affiliated, honestly, at least within a decade with LA Pride. You bring in an individual, whether he may be a cis, queer black man, or here you go, here's the idea. It's not a shortage of black identifying trans women either. Am I right or am I wrong? They're very business minded. So here we go. Take him out that space, make him an example to understand that this will not be tolerated. Because let me tell you something, if LA Pride does not do that, then that means they're condoning it, in my opinion.
Well, we're gonna find out, but we're gonna talk about accountability. I've gotten a message from the Mahogany Project. The doors to the church are open. So therefore, I just want to say that this conversation has been great, and I can't wait till Pound Town comes out. I know Adonis is going to throw a plug in here and there, but I want to say that I'm excited about being able to speak with the rest of the three of you and allowing me to share this space with you to discuss what we discussed today. As we move forward, I know Crystal has something here. Yeah, so she's talking about the actual comment and what happened. But I know that we were supposed to end at probably 8, maybe 8:30. We at 8:50. Conversation is good. So maybe there's opening for a part 2. Maybe we continue discussion there. But I do want to give everybody a chance to go home, get some rest, and do what this they do. So does anybody want to share their social media for anybody can follow you, slide them DMs when we were talking about interests earlier? Anybody want to, share or something?
Yes, okay. Well, now saying follow me. Of course, I'm Byron Bankhead. Follow me on Instagram, Byron_back, Byron Bankhead on Facebook. That's all the social media I'm gonna share publicly. Yeah, follow me. I really enjoy having these conversations with y'all. I love when the Mahogany Project and friends invites me to have these conversations and have these moments with y'all and with the people watching. So I love it. And like I said, thank y'all for having me. And I love getting y'all insight. Y'all are amazing people with amazing insight.
Darian, what about you?
Hey, what's up? I am Darian Dyrell, and you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Darian Dyrell. You can also check me out on Tuesdays on the Mahogany Project's Instagram Live. You also can check us out this Thursday. We're going to be ending our We Got Pride celebration with a variety show at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live again. This is a part of our guy chat, girl chat, and then I think they chat we're going to have. And so I forgot the last one name. And so definitely check this out. We would have another one coming up soon, possibly. If you want to join, if you want to participate with the Mahogany Project in any capacity, definitely let us know.
Adonis, what you got?
Listen,
what you want to share?
I'm the same dude, the main dude, lame dude. Starting on Facebook, the people shepherd on Instagram. Oh, if you love true crime and that's your thing, hit me up on my YouTube page at Tales from the Crib. Yeah, I'll put it in the comments now. Hit me up there. We definitely gonna be back. The host of Pound Town. Listen, you on Pound Town, you log on to get off. I'm gonna let you find out what that means. Okay. But yeah, sessions needed. We're talking about other things, taboos. It's important. Thank you all. We greatly appreciate this conversation. It was so good. I thank all of y'all for being a part of it.
Yes.
This is it.
It's been an amazing time, and I want to give everybody a chance. My name is Jordan Edwards. You can find me on Instagram at JordanJ_Edwards on IG. Jordan Gerard Edwards on Facebook, whole name, government name, give it all to the people. And also, you can find me at the Normal Anomaly Initiative, where I serve the community because that's what I love to do. And I'm also assistant today with the Mahogany Project. They focus on the gender nonconforming GDC community, and we want to allow you to have space to understand that you are valuable and you are welcome. So any one of these organizations who have services that you need, we are here to able to provide those as we move forward. We got pride. Have pride in yourself, and we want to say good night.
Wait, Byron didn't say nothing.
Yeah, Brian.
Brian did. But I didn't. So I didn't say what size. So before we go, I'm gonna say that.
Okay. To that note.
Oh yeah, before we end, because it is cancer season, unfortunately, my birthday. And like Lil Kim said, y'all have to answer it. But Lil Kim said this: how many licks does it take to get to the center of the?
It won't take many licks to get to that bottom, but anyway. All right. Have a good night.
Giving very much so cock. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.